Live from downtown Port of Spain, this is the TV6 Weekend News.
Good evening and welcome to the TV6 Weekend News. I'm Dominic Kalipersad. In the headlines, the Prime Minister announces a state of emergency and curfew to fight the COVID virus. The business sector agrees that the move is necessary. To come in sport, TNT's Tyra Gittins qualifies for the long jump at the Tokyo Olympics. First up, from midnight, Trinidad and Tobago goes under a state of emergency as the country grapples with a rising death toll and hundreds of cases of COVID-19, the latest figures being 11 more deaths and 520 new positive cases. The announcement came this afternoon from Prime Minister Rowley, who, while spelling out the serious situation now facing the country, still sought to assure citizens that this does not call for panic.
From midnight tonight, Trinidad and Tobago will be under a state of emergency involving a curfew that from then onwards would be 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Meaning that if you don't have to be out for exempted reasons, you stay home under force of law.
The Prime Minister said his decision to call a state of emergency is guided by the medical data, which now suggests that the nation's parallel health care sector is reaching full capacity. So how long will it last? Jules Brown reports.
National security in all its forms, of course the health department in all its forms, the Ministry of Energy's work, the energy sector will remain under. The utilities will remain exempted. Ports and airports will remain exempted. All tentacles of the food supply chain, from food packaging, food preparation, food distribution, supermarkets, groceries, will remain because we have to be fed. Pharmacies, public transport, and elements of private transport, and the details of that will come out. And of course, these are essentials to keep us where we are at home. And there may be one or two more that will have to be added as we go forward.
Well, that was Prime Minister Rowley outlining the essential industries that will remain functioning. As we said, how long will the state of emergency last? Jules Brown reports.
I am still hearing the stories on the deathbeds of people who are in parties. We know, we've heard about curfew parties, we've been here before.
The plea to the population from the Thoracic Medical Director at the Cora Hospital, Dr. Michelle Trotman, after Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced a state of emergency to deal with a surge in COVID-19 cases and an increasing COVID death toll in Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm sorry that it has come to coffins and the faces of dead people for us to realize that we are in, and always has been, in a very difficult place.
TV6 News sought clarification from the Prime Minister as to how long the state of emergency will last, given that the present lockdown of much of the economy, which began on April 29th, is due to end on May 23rd. Will there be a state of emergency up to the 23rd or beyond?
The state of emergency that we put in place now will remain in place until it is either expired or discontinued. We move into a state of emergency, but not until next week or week after. We are in a state of emergency, and I will hold it that way for the time being. The 23rd is where we had looked at another date cast in stone.
According to the Constitution, the President may from time to time make a proclamation declaring that a state of public emergency exists that must satisfy specific criteria, which includes an outbreak of pestilence or infectious disease.
The state of emergency allows us under law to be there for 90 days. So at least 90 days in the first instance. It may not be 90 days, maybe 30, maybe 60, but it is in place now to allow us to have a bit more rollback.
The last time Trinidad and Tobago was under a state of emergency was in 2001 during the People's Partnership Administration to deal with escalating crime in Trinidad and Tobago. On that occasion, the state had to pay claimants who filed civil suits over wrongful detention.
The answer to that is that none of us in this country have ever been in a state of emergency during a pandemic. Take that. Use that as your guide.
As for the public debate over whether the police can intervene if there are large gatherings in private homes under the public health regulations,
all of that has been solved by me using the state of emergency, which is properly ensconced in the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. Because you see, I didn't want to use the provision that is existing now in the public health ordinance, because not very many people give the respect to the ordinance that they give to the state of emergency.
the Prime Minister referred to two calypsos as he called on the population to help end the COVID surge, one of which contained a word that has become part of a popular phrase at this time.
And Devon Seals has come to my aid to appeal to you. And he say, in his calypso, he say, don't jackass the thing.
Jewel Brown, TV6 News.
And one of the nation's business chambers says it supports the 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew to be part of the state of emergency announced by the Prime Minister today. Jewel Brown also has that story.
The Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce says that due to the number of infections from COVID-19 and the strain on the healthcare system, it recognizes the need to escalate the actions to halt, curb, and reverse the spread of the COVID virus. The Chamber said it therefore supports the implementation of the curfew, which is part of a state of emergency announced by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley on Saturday and is to take effect at midnight. Supermarkets, groceries, pharmacies and gas stations and their convenience marts are among the businesses deemed essential, and the Prime Minister said they will continue to remain open during the SOE. The Chamber of Commerce says that as a representative of the business community, it has and always will seek to act in the best interest of the society. The Chamber of Commerce said that the sobering reality of the Twin Island Republic's current situation is in part due to weak enforcement of the restrictions, porous borders, and irresponsible behavior of the non-compliant. The Chamber of Commerce said we must ideally leverage the digital infrastructure many businesses have put in place to allow them to operate. The Chamber also said curbside pickup and delivery provide excellent opportunities for businesses to operate while reducing the movement and physical points of contact among citizens. Much of the economy, including sectors that are not allowed to operate or use curbside pickup or delivery services, including bars, restaurants, fast food outlets, are closed under the present lockdown. Cinemas and gyms are also closed at this time. The lockdown is due to end on May 23rd. Jewel Brown, TV6 News.
And the president of the Arima Business Association, Rival Chattergoon, also says his association is in full support of the government and the imminent state of emergency. He says the lives of the people are more important than anything.
So based on what the Prime Minister said, it was inevitable. We've been seeing it coming for quite a few days. We had actually called for this because we saw that the numbers would have increased, while we take no fortune in saying that we were right, because a lot of people are dying every day, and yet we're still behaving irresponsible, and we're stressing the healthcare system, to be quite honest. Yes, they would have financial fallout, and we have made a 10-point program or a 10-point plan in terms of what is needed, and we eagerly await the Finance Ministry to come out and give some options to us. As is, we have no other choice than to support the government, because the care of our citizens is of utmost importance to us in Arima, likewise throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So we don't have a choice, and we're hoping that this will be over as soon as possible so we could return to some sort of normalcy with a massive vaccination drive.
Dr. Rowley says the government is taking all the necessary steps to prevent the virus from spreading more than it already has. He's pleading with all of us to cooperate with the rules given and thanks the business community for their support.
I want to thank the leadership of the business community for taking the lead in coming out and supporting these initiatives, not supporting the government, because this is not about the government, because no government is on any bed in any hospital or in any morgue. The government is manager of the situation with the responsibility for taking decisions to give us the best chance to survive all the circumstances as they come at us. So I want to thank the leadership of the business community, because had they not done so, the conversation after this press conference would have been a continuation of don't do this, don't do that, because I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose that. Right now, the singular conversation is whether or not you're going to lose your life or somebody you think well of, family or not, could lose his or her life.
Still ahead on the TV6 Weekend News, the Prime Minister says, don't hoard. There is no shortage of basic supplies. Stay with us.
Perfection doesn't happen by chance. Like an artist, the cook selects the main ingredient, one that is worthy of a proud cultural tradition. Trusted to enhance your creations with its richness and versatility, to create a cooking masterpiece. The secret is simple. The brand we know, the brand we trust, the brand our ancestors have been using for generations.
There is only one pure cow brand ghee. Look for the marks of authenticity.
Fantastic savings on designer eyewear with progressive, transition, and anti-reflective lenses for only $2,400. Also, designer frames with bifocal transition lenses for only $1,600. Only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Beep disinfectant spray is certified by a U.S. EPA compliant lab to kill the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Trust Beep to protect your loved ones and keep them safe from COVID-19. Use Beep to disinfect surfaces each and every day. Beep for a happy, healthy home.
How many times can one man leave you breathless? When you get on his bad side, your number is up. Timothy Dalton is James Bond 007. Licensed to kill.
The Prime Minister has defended his administration's efforts to acquire COVID-19 vaccines, as the opposition and others have said it has not been enough. During his news conference today, the Prime Minister referred to a newspaper article which reported there is a shortage of vaccines worldwide and that large wealthy countries had pre-ordered large stockpiles.
The go-to people in Trinidad and Tobago who run into the television every night and talking about we need to vaccinate the population, vaccinate the population. With what? We are doing everything that can be done in this situation to make sure that whatever vaccine is available, we get and we use.
The Health Minister also clarified the issue of whether those who received their first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine must receive their second dose from that vaccine.
At this point in time, there is no interchangeability between vaccine brands or vaccine types. So persons who receive their first dose of AstraZeneca are guaranteed a second dose of AstraZeneca. Persons who receive their first dose of Sinopharm, so when we vaccinate 50,000 persons with Sinopharm, we hold back 50,000 for their second shot. There is no interchangeability.
Prime Minister Rowley is appealing to the public to desist from hoarding food supplies or lining up at gas stations, as nothing has changed in the operation of those services, and there are no shortages.
Food supply systems will remain open daily. So there's no need to run down there all of you know like lemmings, if you haven't already gone so already since I spoke. The gas stations will remain open daily. So there's no need to rush down there this evening to make sure your tank full this evening. Because it might be this evening when they go by the cashier to pay for the gas you rush for, and to pick up some COVID this evening and carry it home for your grandmother or for your child. There's no need. These areas will continue to supply, so there's no need to rush to the pharmacy because you are afraid of somebody else doing what you are going to be doing.
Police Commissioner Gary Griffiths said that essential services and businesses whose staff must operate during the curfew hours of 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. are required to submit a letter of request for curfew passes with immediate effect. The Police Commissioner said the request must contain the following: details regarding the classification of the type of business organization, the number of personnel who require passes and their names and designation, registered address of the business and location of operations, primary contact person's name, phone number and email address. The Police Commissioner said all letters should be sent to cop@ttps.gov.tt. Meantime, the Ministry of Education has suspended all face-to-face classes at schools. The ministry said this evening that all administrative operations at schools should be done as far as possible remotely, as well as all teaching and learning activities. With regard to the date for SEA 2021 and the conduct of CSEC and CAPE 2021, the ministry said decisions would be taken in the coming week. To come in sport, TNT athlete Tyra Gittens earns Tokyo spot after shining in the long jump at a meet in Texas. And Leicester City beat Chelsea to win the FA Cup. Now this.
Nation, rain or shine, any weather. When we go ball, we go Berger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go ball, we go Berger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this place, when we say ball, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go ball, we go Berger. When we go ball, we go Berger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go ball, we go Berger.
For over 65 years, Trinidad Cement Limited has been the only manufacturer of cement in TNT. Designed to meet local and international standards, our products undergo rigorous testing to ensure the highest quality. Our facility produces fresh cement 24 hours per day, and with distribution to over 500 hardware stores nationwide, your project is always well supplied. Build with Trinidad Cement Limited, the brand you know and trust. Ask for it by name.
In TNT, the number of COVID-19 positive cases are on the rise. To help protect you, your employees, and their families, take due diligence and sanitize. At Magic Mist Services Limited, our team is BSCAI, internationally COVID-19 trained and certified. We've been protecting the health of our nation for over 43 years. Give us a call. Magic Mist Services Limited, your total facilities management solutions provider.
Welcome to Social Eyes Optical, where we offer you free digital eye examinations via our highly qualified optometrists at 2 locations nationwide, Marval and Balmain-Hoover. We also have a wide range of designer eyewear for the entire family. 50% off when you bring us your prescription. Plus, we have affordable payment options at amazingly 0% interest. Kids promotions all year round. Complete frame and lenses from $6.99. See in-store for details.
We start with track and field. Good news, Tyra Gittens is heading to the Tokyo Olympics following her performance at the Southeastern Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships in Texas. Gittens attained the Olympic standard in the long jump with a leap that was 6.96 meters, which is better than the 6.82 qualifying standard.
Watch this. You hear the crowd and you saw the landing. That was great off the board. It was her second attempt, 22 feet 10 inches. Watch the foot placement. Boom. Really nice off the board. She used almost all of the board, and that's exactly what you want. Look at the reaction. She gets a little love from her coach, Terry Turner Hairston, who did a little bit of long jump, triple jump at the University of Texas. And this jump was so good, we need to take a look at it again. Look at this speed. She carries it really well. Then watch right here off the board. Pop, pop. You heard that second to last step. Really nice hip height off of the board. 6.96. She is now the best heptathlete long jumper.
And couldn't ask for a better commentary too. But even though Gittens has made it to Tokyo in the long jump, she missed out on qualifying for the heptathlon event by just 2 points, accumulating 6,418 points in the 7-discipline event. It helped her strike gold in the heptathlon in Texas, but she still has a chance to redeem herself at the national championships next month to make that her other event in Tokyo. For now, though, she is elated to be an Olympian.
It really hasn't set in yet because my adrenaline, and I know I'm not done competing, but tonight, it's going to settle in, and I'm just going to be bouncing off the walls. I'm just going to call everyone I know, hey, yeah, yeah, I did that. I'm going to the Olympics, you know. So it's exciting. It's exciting. I can't wait to represent my country, and I'm a little disappointed that I came too close to the HEP standard, but I'll still get it. I still have nationals, you know. I don't want to give everything, you know. It's too soon, so. But I'm excited to say that I'm going to be an Olympian.
Switching to cricket, the Cricket West Indies selection panel has named a 30-man squad for a 3-week high-performance red ball training camp in St. Lucia starting tomorrow in preparation for the upcoming Test series against South Africa. But left-handed batsman Shimron Hetmyer has not been included in that list. The camp provides an opportunity for established test and developed players alike to sharpen and enhance their red ball skills in a high-performance environment after a month-long break following the Sri Lanka series. The camp will include 2 best versus best inter-squad matches as the West Indies look ahead to their final series in the ICC World Test Championship with 2 test matches against the Proteas in June. The camp includes Guyanese fast bowler Neil Smith, Jamaican top-order batsman Paul Palmer, Windward's leg-spinning all-rounder Kieran Cottoy, and St. Kitts and Nevis left-hand batter Kieran Powell. Test captain Craig Braffett and fast bowlers Kemar Roach and Alzari Joseph will not be attending as they are currently competing in the English County Championship and will return to the West Indies for the Test series if selected. In football, Leicester City lifted the FA Cup for the first time as Yuri Tielemans' stunning long-range goal earned the Foxes victory over Chelsea at Wembley. Tielemans collected a loose ball 30 yards out before rifling another unstoppable shot into top corner. Chelsea thought they had equalized late on the VAR ruled out Wes Morgan's own goal due to offside in the build-up. The Foxes held firm in stoppage time to earn Brendan Rodgers his first major trophy in English football. And in the NBA, the Warriors defeated the Pelicans 125-122. Jordan Poole recorded a career-high 38 points, along with 4 rebounds and 6 assists for the Warriors.
Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram sitting this one out for New Orleans. And meanwhile, Steph Curry chilling for the Golden State Warriors. So we get you started with Kent Bazemore pulling up for the three-pointer. That goes down. Then Juan Toscano-Anderson finds Jordan Poole for a triple of his own. Golden State up by 8 at that point. Nico Mannion finds Michael Mulder for a triple. Golden State made 8 of 12 threes in the quarter. They're up by 13 at that point. Mannion finds Mulder on the alley-oop jam. Then Toscano-Anderson finds Jordan Poole for the layup off glass. Golden State looking great. Toscano-Anderson finds Kent Bazemore on the break for the alley-oop jam. At the break, Golden State, just like if Steph's out there, up 75-57. Mannion now behind the back pass to Mulder for the lay, and then Mannion with another behind the back pass to Toscano-Anderson for the jam. Golden State up by 16. For New Orleans, trying to mount a comeback. Najee Marshall drives in for the layup. Then it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the three-pointer. And look at this. New Orleans is back in front by 1. Later, Jordan Poole on the drive gets the layup. He had a career-high 38.6 assists, 4 rebounds. Golden State up by 1. Alexander-Walker now trying to give New Orleans a win. He misses. He finished with 30 points. He needed 34. Golden State goes on to win it, 125-122.
We'll check what's in store for the weather next.
Beep disinfectant spray is certified by a U.S. EPA compliant lab to kill the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Trust Beep to protect your loved ones and keep them safe from COVID-19. Use Beep to disinfect surfaces each and every day. Beep for a happy, healthy home.
Fantastic savings on designer eyewear with progressive, transition, and anti-reflective lenses for only $2,400. Also, designer frames with bifocal transition lenses for only $1,600. Only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone. TV advertising can do more for your business than you might think. If you're the owner of a small, medium, or micro enterprise, let's navigate through these challenging times together. Don't be intimidated by perception. With our expertise guiding you every step of the way, you're that much closer to achieving your advertising objectives, all within budget. Let us simplify the process and help you manage your advertising strategies. We are here to take you from concept to execution. Contact us today to explore the opportunities for growth available to you. You can do more for your business with TV advertising.
At the moment, conditions are fair and hazy with a light breeze. You can expect a few light showers tonight and in the morning. Tomorrow, conditions are expected to be predominantly sunny, hazy, and at times breezy, despite the low chance of a breeze shower. The Met Office says there is a moderate to high concentration of Sahara dust in the atmosphere. Sensitive persons are advised to take necessary precautions. Seas are moderate with waves between 1.5 and 2 meters in open waters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. Now for a look at some of the BBC headlines.
Israeli warplanes have destroyed a Gaza City tower block housing international media agencies. It has been evacuated after an Israeli warning. The landlord has denied Israeli claims of Hamas intelligence in the building. Palestinian officials say 14 people, including 10 members of a single family, were killed in an earlier Israeli strike on a refugee camp. One Israeli has died in a Hamas rocket attack. Voting is underway in Chile to choose 150 delegates to redraft the country's military-era constitution. More than 1,000 candidates are standing in the election, which was sanctioned after last October's referendum on constitutional change. China's first mission to Mars has succeeded in putting a spacecraft on the planet's surface. The Tianwen-1 lander touched down by parachute after surviving the descent.
And that's the way it is. I'm Dominic Kalipersad. Remember to follow the hygiene protocols. And as the Prime Minister endorsed what the Calypsonian said, don't jackass the scene. Good night.